We talk about code switching and performing and shrinking. That's all about protecting something, right? You're protecting your job, your reputation, your image, your relationship. And we call it being strategic and being smart and not ruffling feathers, not rocking the boat. But what if all it is just you playing it safe? What if playing it safe ain't safe at all? It ain't safe. It ain't safe. It ain't safe. It ain't safe. Welcome to Code Switch Rebellion. This is the unfiltered podcast for Black women who are done shrinking, chasing perfection, and performing professionalism in their own business. I'm Melanie Denny, aka Melly D, personal branding consultant and the identity strategist. This is where we talk about what it really takes to build a personal brand rooted in who you are, not who you were conditioned to be. Round here, we have real, raw conversations about what it means to show up with integrity, authority, and bold authenticity so you can attract better clients and bigger opportunities. Let's get into it. In this episode, we're going to be breaking down why playing it safe is a myth, what playing it safe is actually costing you, and what it looks like to stop playing it safe. Playing it safe is really about being comfortable. And because uncertainty is uncomfortable. And when you're familiar with something, you're comfortable. You don't have to put any energy into thinking about what could happen, what could go wrong, what could go right, how things would play out, how this person's going to act, how that person's going to act, how you're going to react. You just know what it is because it's familiar. You've been here before. You can predict easily what's going to happen, and it's not as stressful. Lately, I've been talking to a lot of business owners who are still working the 9 to 5. And they're still in corporate because they want to play it safe, which I understand. Totally get that. I am not saying in any way, shape, form, or fashion to quit your job and pursue your business. Not at all. Not in this economy. They keep the job because it's safe, right? Because they know financially they already have what they need coming in. That's perfect. That is actually smart. Don't be like me. That is actually smart because you know what you need and you know that this is consistent money that's going to get you there. But here's the thing I want you to think about. We believe that the job is safe, but is it really? It's only risky because we don't know what we're doing, because we're new at it, because we're unfamiliar. And so we don't know what's going to happen. We can't predict what's going to happen. That's the risky part. But the thing about it is, you're not safe at that job either, baby. Have you not been reading the news? It's layoffs happening left, right, and center, all over the place. And so instead of putting your all and your everything into that job, maybe save some of that energy for your own stuff, because that job is not yours. It can be taken away at any given time. You know what actually belongs to you? Your expertise, your personal brand, your business, your identity. And that stuff that's actually yours is getting like the leftover. That's not safe. That's not safe. You're literally gambling and on someone else's terms. Like, you're not the house. That job is the house. House always wins, baby. Being, in a place that's familiar does not necessarily mean it's safe. The sooner that you realize that, the sooner that you'll start to invest in yourself and the things that can't be taken away from you. Playing it safe shows up in business very similar to how it shows up at work, right? You don't post a thing because what will people think? You don't say your idea in a meeting because what will people think? You don't raise your prices because what if nobody pays it? You don't ask for a raise because what if they say no? You don't apply for the opportunity because what if they don't pick you? You don't apply for the role, the promotion, because what if they don't pick you? And we feel like not asking for what we want is just playing it safe and it's being safe. But it's not. It's risky. It's risky because now you still stuck there. You stuck where you at because you trying to stay safe. Think of it this way. If you want something, let's say you want something that is across a big street and you need to cross the street. How you gonna get across? How you gonna get there if you don't take the risk to go across the street? There's cars coming left and right? And you got to navigate that road to get across. Or are you going to stay where you at on that corner versus going after what you want, which is across the street? Which one is more risky? Staying where you at and not getting your thing, risking not, it's not even a risk at that point because you're literally eliminating the odds of you getting that thing by just staying there. Or taking the risk to go across the street to dodge the cars to get the thing. A lot of times we feel like it's safer to not try than to try and hear no. And that's wild to me. And all that is your conditioning talking. That's all your code switching, your performing, your shrinking. That's all that at play right there. Because if you want something, you need to go get it. Ain't nobody finna hand it to you, baby. You got to go get it. And going to get it sometimes may seem, look, appear risky. Let me tell you something. It took me 4 years from when I decided I did not want to do resumes anymore to actually stop doing resumes. 4 years. And I was literally stuck for 4 years. I knew I didn't want to do this thing, but I didn't know where to go. I was like, well, I'm going to play it safe versus make a decision and move. So I played it safe, daddle around. Next thing you know, 4 years gone in the same damn place. You have to make decisions. You have to trust yourself. You have to be able to recognize that this is a risk, but staying where I'm at is riskier. So when it comes to that job that you're still at for your business, again, I am not saying quit. Do not go and say, Mel told me to quit. Absolutely fucking not. What I'm saying is reserve some of your energy into that job that is risky, because the economy is risky and layoffs are highly likely. So 40% of American workers have been laid off at least once in their careers, and 48% of employees experience fear of being laid off. So is the job really safe? So being laid off is probably going to happen. If it hasn't happened already, it's going to happen. If it happened already, it's probably going to happen again. That's just the lay of the land right now. So instead of going above and beyond at this job, why don't you take the risk of really making the decision to get up out of that job by a certain day and time? We think, jumping into entrepreneurship is risky. Invest some of that energy into your business. Spend a couple extra hours on your business. Spend a little bit of money to invest in your business. Stop saving your best for the place that's going to let you go without a second thought. We'll fire you tomorrow and have somebody in that desk the next day. I want you to recognize that the safe choice comes with a risk. It comes with a price tag. You don't recognize the price tag because in your head, you have determined that this is safer, that you're protecting whatever. And in fact, you may be just leaving opportunities on the table. So what does it look like to stop playing it safe? A practical way is to just think about one thing that you've been sitting on because it felt risky. For me, this TED Talk. I've been saying for a couple of years now, I want to do a TED Talk. Have I applied to a TED Talk? It was one right in my backyard. Did I apply? Absolutely not. Why? Because it's risky to put the time and energy into the application for them to tell me, hell no, we straight on you. But what's the real risk? Me not doing it. It's a 0 chance of me getting a TED Talk if I don't apply. Me playing it safe and trying to do it the right way. I didn't got the book, tried to read the book. All of that was not me applying. So next time you find yourself in that situation, ask yourself, what is really the worst case scenario? Because I bet that's not even going to happen. If you do bust a move, the worst case scenario is probably not going to happen. But we dwell on the worst case scenario. There's a best case scenario. There's like a probably going to happen. And then there's a worst case scenario. You know where we sit at? We sit at the worst case scenario. And we're like, anything else is fine. It's safer than this happening, this worst case scenario. So I'm going to just do all I can do to stay away from that worst case scenario. Meanwhile, the actions that you take that could lead to that worst case scenario are the same actions to take to get to the best case scenario. So stop letting your conditioning, stop letting you trying to protect yourself, protect your image, protect your reputation, protect all of these things, stop you from going after the things that you really want. Because it's keeping you stuck and it's holding you back. When we talk about pitching yourself in your business, when we talk about going after clients, when we talk about asking for the sale, when we talk about all these things, it's risky because what if they say no? But what if they say yes? You playing it safe and not asking is keeping you stuck. It's keeping you right where you're at. We have been conditioned to believe that we're supposed to go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a degree, get a job, work the job, retire from the job, and get your pension. That's how we've been conditioned to go through life. And asking for anything else is crazy work. It's unsafe. But these jobs ain't loyal. So knowing who you are and what you want and what you value, you playing it safe, staying at the job. You playing it safe, not asking for what you want. You playing it safe, not investing in your business. You playing it safe, not making the decisions you know you need to make to build the life that you want, to build the career that you want as an entrepreneur. You're playing it safe. When the real risk is you staying right where you're at and not owning who you are and honoring who you are as someone with a vision, as someone with a desire to do more, with a desire to help people, with a desire to use your expertise to make a bigger impact in the world. Instead of staying true to that, you want to play it safe. You know why you buy into that? Because it's familiar and it's comfortable and it's the norm. And probably people around you have not been entrepreneurs. They've also been workers. They follow that traditional, quote unquote, traditional sense of the path through life. And they kept their head down and they did their work. And they fit in, they assimilated. They code switched, they shrank. They did what they had to do to get by. And they didn't ruffle no feathers because it was too risky. And so they stayed stuck. And now you see that. And you've been conditioned the same way. And so you feel like the biggest risk is betting on yourself and staying true to who you are. It's risky to be who you are. It's risky to go against the grain because most people disagree. Most people have bought into, let's play it safe. Most people have bought into the notion of playing it safe. So it's uncomfortable to step out and do something different. It's familiar to just stick with what you know. So I don't want to risk it. I'm going to play it safe. This has been another episode of Code Switch Rebellion. And never forget, your identity is the strategy. Deuces. If this episode sparked something in you and you want to continue the conversation, join me over on Substack. I would love to hear your thoughts on today's topic. Till next time, y'all, remember, your identity is the strategy.